Again in studio, this time about information. The information, of course, is also philosophy and psychological. It is some sort of what someone think about something. This time a little bit about information and about science. Can the science really evolve health in human being? It's very uneasy to answer because there are also a lot of preventive yoga exercises. There are actually millions of Tibetan yoga exercises in other forums that can give access to more and more practice, which of course involve brain and deep breathing. Some people actually think that computing could actually boost the health and help the doctors, and from some point of philosophy, it is correct that software and informatics can actually give the tools to some doctors to do different things. But of course, me is also slightly different about the science and medicine in institutions. The microants insurance, maybe much better explanation for it is just microants in health, and also use all type of information to make better therapy for people. It is not simple to make better forums for people, and all those therapy must be good. Of course, also the therapy with sound is possible, but from the philosophical and psychological point, anything could be a therapy. Me also think that it's not easy to make some sort of tools for better therapy. To make a profession in medicine is also not simple. The health service, whatever you have, insurance, organization, or any other type of health interface, or whatever you are building in health sector, just starting out, or you are in that sector for more time, you must think about different philosophies, not only one way of being a doctor, because the doctors can also make a lot of mistake. Making a mistake as a doctor, it's not easy, and every day, if you are working on self-development as a doctor, you need to ask yourself what is really the best way to build medicine. The doctors are some sort of models that must know tools, the basic tools, how to check the blood and how to check if heart is working properly. A lot of time, doctors also check the heartbeat, and if you are breathing normally. The bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger information, of course, it's not always the best, and sometimes you must forget the technology and you must forget all the information to make the best decision for someone to bring it to better health. It's actually not simple because you have millions of different, very, 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 very different case in medicine, and you actually must have a lot of theory knowledge to execute things properly. Not to do anything very, very, very fast as a doctor is very important, and you also must be user friendly. To be user friendly is very important because that's actually part of ethics. The ethics are very, very important. And with ethics, you also get out some quality. The quality also means that you must actually wake up slightly earlier. That is not easy because most of people want to wake up around 8 in the morning, but you should actually wake up around 6 or 5. That is not simple for most of people. The public health sectors are not simple, and whoever will have some time to check those informations in this film can make better decisions. Do they want to use more tools and more technology, or they want to get more practical approach to human heart and human body? The purpose in health, it's not simple. The purpose, it's not just to use tools, but actually to get people in good shape. Of course, that means training, and here is profession question. Should doctors also be the trainers, or they should be only the doctors? Because some doctors probably will be also the trainers, and they will teach yoga or other forms, not to become too much involved in technology, because technology can also make problems. The development of technology actually develop tools, but the tools are only tools and are not very smart. Tools depends on how you use tools. There is a lot of departments of health in world. Each city, each country, each landscape have some health and education departments, but all those departments must serve to humans. And here is also some sort of philosophy. And this philosophy maybe is very, very difficult. It means there is very, very a lot of worlds. Now, some people will think that it's some sort of crazy thing that we would have different worlds, but imagine there would be no law. We would have one world where there would be no law. With no law, it would not be possible to make everything, by rules. So you would actually need some yoga exercising and experience to build missions in health sector and to build different worlds in medicine. I think is very important, not only as a philosophy but also as a professional psychology. The education in health sector, it's not simple because actually no one wants to work in that sector, and it's actually charity. The charity means a lot of prevention agency and a lot of forums how to prevent disease, also how to prevent all type of cancers, all type of sugar, all type of quick food, which is of course not simple. And also more yoga and more experts is there in a health service, the better quality and less drugs. The mental health services are of course related to administrations. The administrations around the society are not simple, and a lot of people will also think that fiction do not have part in health sector, but I think that if you put therapy, music, or even books in health sector, then you must know that fiction also have some part in that sector. And of course, that turn everything around. And here are those worlds. It's not just one world of health with a lot of laws, but and a lot of lawyers, but and psychologists. But there are also other worlds like music, book, films that can also serve as some sort of therapy for people. The addiction with drugs is a big problem, especially in psychology sectors. And the drugs, if you take them too much, can actually be harmful. The treatment of people that have some disease is actually important, but sometimes it's also important that different doctors are paying the yoga masters and therapists in each category in health sector, so on the end the people get out healthy. The appropriate world for some human is not simple, and for sure it's also not simple to decide what is better. Is it better to take 1000 drugs, or is it just better to look movie or a book, which is very, very strange topic, and maybe also the point of this whole film, not the drugs, but the book or film. So I do not want to argue with any doctor or say that the doctors are criminals, but it's very important that doctors also understand that the prevention of all type of drugs is very important. In my current in health department, there is also policy that we are limited and can guide people in health sector, but on some point people will also need to decide what type of word they wanna select for themselves, because you can always select more mental health service, which is related to administration and lawyership, and the other forum is maybe more related to drugs and healing with drugs, which is of course sometimes also risky. Not simple to make a program that build better medicine, and also not simple to build better centers with better nurses. And if you are a doctor, you should also date women more, especially nurses, because you want to know what they think. Because if you have bad nurses, then there is no hope for people also. The systems in health service are very diverse, and as I mentioned, it is very, very difficult to respect everyone. So sometimes without human decisions also the doctors can decide what type of program is the best for the patient. Of course, the humans also have rights to go against medicine, but that's of course very difficult topic. Me also can think about different plants and aromas, even architecture in the service of medicine, and what type of institutions could exist in that sector. There might be there might be a lot of products that actually can heal human, but that's not simple order to achieve because it costs a lot of fortune to build different rooms where there are healing plants. Sometimes cost really a lot, and most of doctors could not afford. The biotechnology is very complex, and in microRNAs we also study microbiology and genetics, including cell biology and biochemistry, including a lot of biotechnology and different federations around the world, including molecular biology. And the biology is extremely difficult, and there also exists a philosophy that biology do not exist and is just part of what people really think about biology, because on very advanced forums of training you can also leave biology behind and actually understand more deeper forms of human. But you can also decide for biotechnology and biology, of course. And a lot of humans, especially pretty human and beautiful human, they like biology a lot. It's not simple to think about different detection in medicine and how to detect some disease 1 year before it happened, and intellectually thinking that's not simple topic. Even the best doctors in the world might not figure it out how to find disease like 1 year before it actually happened. And that's very complex topic. A lot of people can argue what's right and what's not right in the term of medicine and biology, but on the end it's very important if you are organization providing products to make some conditions for users and make a special therapy for those that need it, especially if you are making a lot of fortune. It is very appropriate that you are using a lot of ethics. The ethics must be part of therapy, and if there is no ethics there is a lot of problems. There's a lot of herbs also in microRNAs, and those herbs can also heal people, and there are different companies that distribute different herbs. Of course, also tea is very simple, and also the tea is some sort of something that can beat down law, and you don't need like 1 million laws really to heal someone, but you can just find out the right tea, and that solve the situation. To know the microorganisms is also important, because the microorganisms can actually build better picture of what the doctor is looking in. If you are a professional, of course you know more doctors and more yogis and maybe people that make health book, which can also help you to build better environment in the world of technology or biotechnology, and also to make the food safety in world, because in world there is not enough of food, especially not enough of fruit. So what doctor really means might be a slightly very complex topic, because people should really eat 9 different vegetable and 9 different fruit every day, and most people don't do that. Even much worse, people smoke and drink alcohol, and that's really not good. The technology probably can also build up some sort of forums for all type of doctors. And on the end, as a doctor, you also need to focus yourself in some area. You can do the therapy with music, the therapy with standard medicine education, the therapy with film, the therapy with different rooms if you have more fortune to build rooms or special place for people to chill or meditate. Or you can, of course, be more psychological and use a lot of drugs. There are also different therapy with piano music or learning music, and that's very in music theory. The ministry or any type of ministry should support the medicine every month, and of course that's very psychological thematic. If the ministries around the world do not support the medicine, then that's the end of the medicine. If the medicine don't have another cash, actually there will be no medicine, and on the end there will be just 15 very poor yogi that will show very poor five posing with very limited ethics. But with some fortune there is actually possible to build good yogis, good doctors, good psychologists, good psychology for people, and to build very, very good forms of service with religion and theology and spiritual and different type of psychology or service or consulting. It's very, very, very difficult and might include also some sort of framework of those very strict sometimes topics. The doctors, of course, should know all kind of forums, but it's not easy to know. If you have a hospital, it's not easy to know what kind of thousand doctors you need. And me would even suggest that 5% of those doctors should actually be the yogi masters. That's not the usual advice, and maybe other experts might think about 1 million laws why it's better to have an educated doctor, but my experience of last 20 years also show that life is not so simple sometimes, and health is also very difficult.